Welcome to another relationship revolution. Today, I want to talk about your future because the truth is, your future doesn't just happen. You are creating it, whether you mean to or not, my friend. Again, we're in another catalyst conversation for a relationship revolution. And if this is your first time here, I want you to know that this is the space where we challenge the unquestioned assumptions about love. We flip the script on what you've been taught, because most of it's not working, and we reveal the truths that no one's really told you. Here, we're unlocking a brand new paradigm of partnership, one that anchors in consciousness, empowerment, and results in the kind of relationships most people only dream of. So, again, today we are exploring what it means to be proud of where you're going as a couple, as individuals, and as co creators of a life that you actually want. Because here's the truth: if you're not leading your relationship with vision, you're just defaulting into a future you didn't consciously choose. And most of us are choosing a future in our careers, our businesses, our dreams and desires for travel or for our family, but rarely do we take the time to consciously create a vision of the future of for our relationship specifically. And that's a game changer. It's so important, and we're going to dive into it today. But before I get into all that good stuff, I want to take a moment to introduce myself for those of you who may be new to me and to this revolutionary work that we're doing right here. My name is Dr. Jenny Wallig. I am an award-winning relationship mentor, speaker, author, and educator, and I am a disruptor. I call myself the rebel with a PhD, okay? I am determined to make this world a better place through more conscious and evolved relationships, which means doing them differently than most people are doing them, and that most people have ever done them. Alongside my partner and soulmate, Calvin O'Seely, we are the founders of Powerful Love Relationships and creators of the 3-pillar Powerful Love method, which is a proven path to saving, healing, and transforming your relationship, even if your partner's not doing the work with you. We're here to help you take more or receive more. Let me say that. We're here to help you receive more from your relationship so that you are not just settling for fine. To create the love, the life you actually desire by revolutionizing how you're doing things. So you ready? Let's get into it. So let's talk about why creating a vision for our future is so important. First, too many couples are just drifting with one another. They're not driving their relationships. And guess what happens when you just drift? You tend to drift down. You get stuck in patterns and reactivities that are not serving you or your relationship. You default into a future that is a replication of your past, my friends. If you get up every day and you do the same things and you think the same things and you head in the same direction that you've always done before, you get the same results that you've always had before. And that is not living. We are not here to just repeat what we've already done. We are here to expand, to grow, to create. And if you're an entrepreneur like me, you know that, right? And our relationship is no different. If you're feeling dead in your relationship, disconnected in your relationship, take a look at how much you've been dreaming together. Take a look at whether you have a path that you're moving down together. Are you co-creating intentionally? Where are you trying to go? Or are you just living? Because it makes a really big difference. When you don't have clarity, you don't have direction. And when you don't have direction, you're not feeling proud of where you're going. You're just existing. So to feel proud of where you're going, right? So we're in this Proud Love series, and this is our final one, episode 5, Proud of Where We're Going. If you want to feel proud of where you're going in your relationship, you need to have clarity and direction as to where you want to go, what you want to create, right? It just makes sense. But we forget this, or we don't um, apply it, right? We don't embody it. We don't realize it. We don't practice it. And that, again, makes all the difference. The thing is, when we start um, creating a shared vision in our relationships, we start creating, right? We start this beautiful process of conscious co-creation instead of unconscious reactivity. And that is the difference between feeling like you're truly alive and thriving in your relationship and feeling like you're just in it and surviving in your relationship. And I know we all want to feel really alive, right? Without that direction, you're still making choices, but you don't know what you're choosing them for, right? There's no guidepost to help you make those choices. So when you have this direction, the choices that you're making, the directions that you're going, that it feels easier because it's guided, because you know ultimately where you're trying to go, not just in your career, your financial dreams, or your health dreams, or what you desire for your kids. Like it's what you desire for your relationship, which really is the foundation for everything else in your life. So it's like it's like the main driving system. I don't have a really good metaphor for it, but right? Like, so like you've got all these little like side directions and they're like threads, but the main tapestry that you're weaving is the relationship dream. So you might have all of these random pictures, but are they connected? Here's a metaphor, right? It's coming through. Are they connected in this big dream picture of your life, which your love, your relationship, your partnership, your connection, your family, right? Like that, everything is woven around that. And so if you don't have that picture, your pieces might not connect. And eventually, what can happen, what happens to so many couples is that they wake up in a future, in a relationship that they didn't mean to build, that doesn't reflect what they actually always wanted. So that's what I want you to be able to do, right? That's why we're having this conversation. You know, I just want to share a quick story from Cal and my relationship. There was a time back in the beginning where we didn't dream together. And in fact, I think Cal had maybe some resistance to it because it felt like our futures were going in such very different places. And I got to wonder if we had, instead of coming from the perspective of like, this is not going to work, if we had asked, like, how can we make this work? Where do our shared dreams overlap? What do we both desire? And how can we create them? If we wouldn't have gotten to where we are sooner. And when we did finally start, like, intentionally creating shared dreams, dreaming together, which really took off actually when we started the dream of this business together and what that could mean for our future and for our life. Gosh, did it change the experience of our relationship? The co-creative experience of like building something together, even if it's not a business, but like the life that you desire to have, the future that you desire to have, it energizes you. It energized me and Cal, and now it's one of our favorite things to do. It adds like life and sparkle to our relationship. It adds energy and motivation and direction to keep going. When so much of life can feel so routine and stagnant, the dreams for our future are what give it um, flavor and excitement and eager anticipation, right? It's such a game changer, my friends. So take a minute right now, just take a minute and imagine you and your partner waking up and feeling aligned, inspired, excited about where you're going. Imagine that you're building something together, not just coexisting and doing your own things, being in your own lanes. Imagine how easy your decisions feel, how clear your directions feel, right? Your next step, your plans. because they're anchored in where you're going and you both know where that is. And even when life throws you curveballs, you know that you're on the same team and you're pursuing the same dream. This is what it means to be proud of where you're going. Not just staying, not just surviving, but choosing, dreaming, becoming consciously and intentionally. Now, you don't need to know exactly how your dream life is going to unfold. In fact, we can't know that because we can only see so far ahead in our future. And that's just a best guess, right? What we need, however, is to commit to a direction and keep choosing it. You can always course correct, but you got to have that end result in mind. You got to have that dream, that vision. So I want to share a few truths. First of all, you and your partner are already co-creating your future, whether you mean to or not. The difference is, are you being intentional about it or are you just defaulting into it? Every choice you make today, how you show up, how you lead this relationship, what conversations you do or don't have is shaping your tomorrow. Every yes that you say is a no to something else. What do you want to say yes to? Every moment that you share is a building block. What are you trying to build? Right? Like if you're not creating on purpose, you're still creating. You're just replicating what's been before. So we got to be conscious of what we desire to create. How do you desire to feel? What do you desire to experience? What kind of dynamic do you desire to have? Again, you don't need to know how you're going to get there. It starts by knowing where you want to go. And then the path unfolds. I love this metaphor I learned from one of my mentors. It goes something like, a mother duck does not get all of her ducklings in a row before she crosses the road, right? She just starts crossing and the ducks line up. Life is very much like that, my friends. We don't need to have all of our ducks in a row to know exactly how we're going to make it happen. We just need to start taking steps in the general direction of our dreams, knowing where it is that we need to go, we desire to go, and the ducks will line up. It seems like magic. It might seem like woo, but I'm telling you, it's real. Okay? Here's another truth. Your vision doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be present. It needs to be with you. If you're trying to make a decision about your life, we think that we want to be certain, right? Like we got to know that we want to have kids. We got to know that we want to live here. We got to know that this is what we want to do. Y'all, certainty is rare. Okay? You might have an intuitive feeling, but whenever we're making a big decision, a big leap of faith in our life, there will always be fear because our brains are hardwired for what is known, right? As like if we want to stay in what is known because that's safer. So what you're aiming for is like 70% leaning, right? Not even certainty, just a 70% leaning. I think I'm like 70% confident that this is probably the way to go. Then just start moving. Imperfect action is better, right? Just start moving. Use your love, your values, your desires, and your intuition as a compass, and know that you can always course correct. Speaking of which, truth number 3, your flexibility is your power. The journey may not look like you expect it. In fact, I promise you it won't. Life is going to throw you curveballs, but those are all opportunities for further growth and expansion within you and within your relationship. Usually, if you can capitalize on those curveballs and trust them, they become accelerations into a future that's even better than you imagined. But that's another story about perspective shifting. There's a quote, I forget who said it, but I really like it. It says, it goes like this: we must be willing to let go of the life we've planned to embrace the one that is waiting for us. There is something like what you desire, even better, awaiting you. I want to share also this GPS metaphor that I learned from one of my favorite mentors, Mike Dooley. Essentially, he shares that like if you sit in your car and um, and you've got all your vision boards and you have all your dreams and you put the destination into your GPS, it will map out how to get there, right? But you don't actually get there until you turn the car on and start driving. You've got to go, you've got to start moving. But then if you take a wrong turn or you decide to change your destination, your GPS will course correct for you. This is how life works. You just have to be in action, you have to be in motion, and you have to know where you're going. Otherwise, you're just going to be wandering around aimlessly. And while sometimes that's fun, it doesn't actually get you very far very fast, particularly in terms of like an intentional desired future. Okay. So put the destination in the GPS, know where you're going, and then start heading there and trust that you'll be able to course correct along the way. Final truth, how you show up in the gap is everything, right? That is your relationship. Y'all, there will always be a gap between where you are and where you want to go. Even when you get to the destination, you'll have again another destination because that's life. That's the adventure we're all on, and that's a good thing. But how you show up in it, right? Like how you lead, how you love. Are you showing up with curiosity and collaboration and courage? Are you showing up with blame or belief? Are you showing up with disconnection or devotion? These are the stuff of the journey. So stay aware of how you are anchoring in your power and leading in your love as you go on your journey toward your future. That is going to change the game in your relationship. So this idea of like consciously choosing what we desire our relationship to look like, to feel like, what we want to build together, it is revolutionary. It reclaims your power. It puts you in the driver's seat of your life in terms of one of the most important aspects, I would argue the most important aspect of your well-being and success in all other areas. And it keeps you moving intentionally and powerfully. It stops you drifting. It turns your relationship into a deliberate path to your most inspired and fulfilling life. That is what's going to change your legacy. This is how you go from fine to extraordinary, not by waiting to see what happens, but by choosing where you're headed and consciously going there. Now, if you're in the Relationship Revolution membership, you will get a powerful vision mapping prompt this week. It is designed to help you define what your extraordinary life looks like and start taking action toward it now, not someday, now. And know that like this kind of work, taking these ideas, applying them to our life and getting feedback on how it's going and how to do it well so we can accelerate our relationship journey into having the kind of relationship that most people only dream of is exactly the work that we do inside Powerful Love. So if you're done drifting, if you want to wake up every day proud of what you're building together, then we need to talk, because the truth is your relationship can and should be the most powerful part of your life if you're ready to lead it. And so I want to invite you into the Relationship Revolution, our monthly membership program where we take these lessons and go deeper with them, applying them to our own life and putting them into practice with community, with mentorship, with support, and with a whole lot of other tools and resources to help you accelerate that journey. If you want to go even deeper than the Relationship Revolution, then we need to talk Next Level Love. That's application only, and I will put the link in the description of this live stream so you can have that as well. But the Relationship Revolution is a great starting place. If you don't have a ton of time, you don't need to go super deep, but you want your relationship to keep getting ever better. You want to keep tweaking it and refining it and improving it, because settling for good enough is not your path. Mine either. you got to be in the relationship revolution. Our founding member price is still available, $97 a month. We just had another amazing couple join yesterday. So know that this opportunity is closing. The price is going to go up to $147. And you miss out on some really amazing bonuses, including a private strategy. It's a strategy call. I think I'm calling it a strategy call with me, and um, access to our Infinite Possibilities in Relationship program, which we're going to do later this year, probably in the winter. It's going to be life-changing, mind-blowing. It certainly has been for me and Cal. So I want you in on those things. $97 is all it takes to jump into the relationship revolution, and we get to see your relationship transform. I can't wait to have you in there. That is my invitation. I hope you jump on it. You know, if you know, right? Until then, I will see you next Friday for another Catalyst conversation in this relationship revolution. It's every Friday live at 12:30 Pacific. Until then, keep leading with love, my friends.